What's going on, everyone? This is Jay from Premier Gaming Entertainment, and I wanted to bring a video to you today in regards to, well, it's a video that I've wanted to make for the past couple weeks. I've been hinting about it, but never really got the chance to make the video because I've been kind of busy during the week with work and stuff like that. I've been just too tired to make the video, but now I have no opportunity, so I wanted to just talk about basically recruiting. And if you read the title of this video, you'll see exactly where I'm coming from. I just have to put in and take into question basically Jim Harbaugh and his ability to assist talent, and not only just him, but also his coaching staff as well, whether it be the actual coaches seeing the players on the field and in practice, and the coaching staff as far as scouting out potential recruits to come to Michigan to play in the future. So it's a twofold video that I wanted to discuss as far as that goes. Now, the idea is basically, it's not just because of what happened in the game that just passed versus Rutgers. I've actually wanted to make this before this, but it really it brought it to light. So I just wanted to, discuss this and get this off of my mind as far as an issue that's just been an ongoing issue for as long as I can remember. So one of the things that I noticed with Jim Harbaugh, and I could be wrong in this, but to be honest with you, from what I've seen, is he's a great coach as far as, turning around a program, getting it from one point to the next, building it up, doing all that stuff. But one thing I've noticed is a lot of the time, and I'm sure Stanford might be the exception to it, a lot of times, especially the last two times, he's come into a already good existing situation and just change, whatever the culture may be or whatever issue was going on at the time that caused the team to stutter and not be at the potential that they needed to be. But, as far as building upon that, that's a whole different story. So, before Michigan, when he took over the 49ers job, they were a team that was, I would say, definitely underachieving. However, coming into that situation, he already had this amazing defensive team. So he already had the pieces and the foundation already put together. He just came in and made whatever changes and adjustments that he needed to make in order to get the team to the next level. Now, fast forward to when he came to Michigan, he took over from a program that was going in the wrong direction. Brady Hoke was, like I said, on his way out, definitely. But it was a 5-7 team, but it was a team that had a lot of talent. So when he came in and turned around the program, it seemed like overnight, it was great. I was excited. I was hyped because I figured, man, if he could do this with this team that was 5-7, just imagine what he can do with his own guys. But funny enough, his best success has actually been with the team that wasn't his guys. I mean, the team that he has right now, these are his guys. I mean, there's not anyone that I think that's left over from Brady Hoke that's on this team right now. I don't think so. So, all the guys on his team right now, with this team that's struggling, as I make this video, it's 2-3, losing to Michigan State, Indiana, and almost losing to Rutgers. And getting smashed by Wisconsin. These are all his guys from start to finish. So when you see it, you just realize that, man, it's maybe there's just an issue as far as assessing talent. Um, I went back and looked at the recruiting classes, and if you go back and you look at it, I mean, what 5-star guy that we actually did get was just like completely dominant in, you know, being on the team that I can think of. I The only one that I see the potential of is, Dax Hill. Looks like he's going to be the real deal once he, gets more reps down and plays, full season and stuff like that. Other than that, I mean, Sean Gary, a whole lot of potential, a whole lot of hype, but on the field, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Chase Winovich seemed to have more of an impact on the game. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I had a whole video, about him coming to Michigan. I was so hyped when he decided to come to Michigan. But what did he do? I mean, it wasn't any groundbreaking stuff that he did. He didn't make a whole lot of plays. And he was like the number one recruited wide receiver during that recruiting class. Rashawn Gary was the number one recruit in the whole country. I know there's other people, like I remember, and I'm going to get to another aspect that has been an issue and probably why we're struggling this year. But I remember during that same recruiting class with Donovan Peoples-Jones, there was also there was a linebacker. I think his name was Jordan Anthony. I mean, did he even play? And then you had Aubrey Solomon. That he came and he didn't do much of anything, and he ended up transferring. So it's like, it's not that we haven't got top end and high end, quote unquote elite talent. It's just that the elite talent that we quote unquote got didn't do much of anything. So it's like, when you see that you got in 2017, you get a number 4 ranked recruiting class, but the high end recruits that you get don't have much of an impact on your team. I mean, it just puts into question, what do these guys see in these guys to go after them and recruit them if these guys aren't really as good as what they've been hyped up to be. So it's just been a huge issue as far as getting these guys in and then them not living up to whatever talent that they're supposed to have. And that's a huge part of the issue that we're having with this team. Looking back at and one of the reasons why I think that we're struggling the way we are right now is, in all honesty, a lot of guys from our 2017 recruiting class have transferred out. I know it was a huge deal a couple of years ago, and back then I didn't really put 2 and 2 together to make it feel as though it was a big deal. But now, seeing how we've struggled this season, it's all coming together and being an issue for us. Now, I'm just going down the list of all the people that transferred out of the program. So we had a total of 30 commits. And hold on, let me see how many people transferred out. Aubrey Solomon, transfer. Oliver Martin, transfer. Drew Singleton, transfer. Jordan Anthony, transfer. Darren Irvin Bay, transfer. Tariq Black, transfer. Jalen Kelly Powell, I think, transfer. James Hudson, transfer. Corey Malone Hatcher, transfer. Amari Samuels, transfer. Jamark Woods, transfer. Kurt Taylor, transfer. Benjamin St. Juste, transfer. Raymond Hall, I'm not even sure, but probably transfer. Jamarick Woods, probably transfer. I mean, there's a whole lot of guys out of this whole recruiting class that transferred. Then on top of that, you got Nico Collins and Ambry Thomas opt out. So that's a huge amount of players out of the 30 that are no longer on the team. You're only left with, let's see, Brad Robbins, Chuck Faliga, Cesar Ruiz is in the NFL, so Kwity Paye, Donovan Jeter, Stuber, Luigi, Ben Mason, Josh Ross, and Brad Hawkins. I think those are the only guys that are left on the team. That's not a whole lot out of 30. And then you backed it up by the following year having the 24th ranked recruiting class, and it's just a recipe for disaster. Then you had a couple of guys like Miles Sims and Mustafa Muhammad that transferred out as well. And now you kind of see where this lack of depth has come from. You got a whole bunch of guys that should have been juniors and seniors that are no longer with the team. And because of that, now you have a whole bunch of guys that are, sophomores and freshmen and redshirt freshmen and redshirt sophomores. They're playing key roles in this team. So, I saw a few people say in the comments that we're a young team and that's why we're struggling, and that's so true. But that's why we're struggling, because the guys that should be in to play, those key positions that should be seniors and juniors have transferred out of the program. So that's a huge problem. Now, on top of this, and this is, one of the main reasons why I made the video, is even within the guys that we do have, it's, to me, it's just weird and strange that a lot of guys that have the potential to, do well and be key contributors to the program are not getting the proper playing time. That I don't understand. You can just go back and, for example, I know Jalen Mayfield, all of last year, he couldn't get in the game. And look at now, had he not opted in and played this season and just waited out, they were talking about him potentially being a first-round draft pick. That's crazy. That a guy that you didn't even want to play last year has the potential to be a high first-round, well, not high, but late first-round draft pick in next year's, NFL draft. Why didn't he not get the proper playing time? Why does he have to wait behind somebody? If you look, obviously, this year, with the whole situation with Cade, I just don't understand how the coaches could not see who was the better quarterback. So that was head-scratching to me, especially after the Wisconsin game where Joe was awful, didn't show anything. The team was dead in the water. Then they bring in Cade in, and then immediately he throws a touchdown pass. But then they decide, you know what? We want to go back to Joe. Because, we need to see whether or not it's Joe, or whether or not, maybe he just had a bad 3-4 games and that's all it was. I mean, that's just crazy to me. You see one guy is struggling mightily, then you see another guy just comes in and immediately gives a spark to the team. But you decide you're going to go back to the guy that was struggling. So I don't know how they assess the talent with the given team, but to me that's crazy. I think it's one of those things with this old school mentality that the players have to earn their right to play on the team. They have to earn their starting position. It's a matter of seniority. So it doesn't matter if you're the better player. If you got someone ahead of you that's got seniority, that's had more experience, then that guy's going to play better than you. I mean, play ahead of you, whether you're better than him or not. And to me, that might have been fine back in the day, but now with the whole transfer portal thing, you can't afford to do that. This is part of the problem. It's just a stubbornness with Michigan that they do this, but it's 2020. The transfer portal is a huge issue. I've already made a video on this, but to me, you got to go with the best player possible, regardless of whether or not they've had experience or not. There's no more, you got to wait your turn, and if there's any issue with injury, then you may be able to get in and play and get some experience. That should not be a thing, because what's going to end up happening, and what's ended up happening, is with the transfer portal and players being able to immediately get eligibility, players are just going to transfer if they feel that they're not going to get a shot to showcase their talents right away. So we got to get out of this mindset of, well, the better player is this guy, but we have someone ahead of him that's playing. We're going to play that guy and then come to this guy maybe next year, or whatever the case may be. I mean, in all honesty, looking back on it now, that's why Dylan ended up opting out and transferring, and that's why Cade didn't even probably get a proper opportunity. Now, I understand if, say, you got two guys, one guy's got the experience, one guy doesn't, and you feel that they're equal, then I can understand going with the guy with more experience. But if you see in practice that one guy is definitely, got the stuff better than the other guy, you need to go with that guy, regardless of how many snaps the guy has got or not. That stuff has to change. So that's my huge issue. I just feel as though, all in all, we just have an issue with being able to properly assess talent, whether it be from scouting and recruiting, or from the guys that are already on our team deciding whether or not they should play or not ahead of somebody else. I just think it's a huge issue. And that's why we're in the situation that we're in right now. But hopefully we can turn it around. We have a nice recruiting class coming in. Of course, that's albeit whether or not people officially sign or not. Nothing's official yet. We still got at least another month or so before people actually sign. So until then, there's still an opportunity for players to decommit. So, like I said, I just hope that hopefully going forward with the guys that we do have and the guys in the future, that we get the quality players that we need. The only way to turn this thing around, the only way to get to an elite status and start beating teams that we've struggled against, is to be able to recruit at a high level. I've made mention to this many times in other videos. You're only as good as you can recruit. You can't recruit, way down in the list and then expect to be a top-notch, high-end, elite team in college football. It's just not possible. There's a reason why Alabama is always going to the college football playoffs. You know, last year was an outlier. Of course, luckily for us, or unluckily for us, we had the matchup against them in our bowl game, whatever. But there's a reason why Alabama is always near the top. There's a reason why Clemson is always near the top. There's a reason why Ohio is always near the top. It's not an accident. When you're recruiting and you're getting elite talent, and that elite talent is actually worth a hill of beans, you're going to do well. So that has to be the next thing. We got to be able to somehow entice higher quality talent to come to Michigan. Now, I'm not going to say that Harbaugh is not trying, because he's definitely trying. He's doing his thing as much as he can, and he's trying everything, whether it be getting Jordan Brand, the recruiting trips. He's trying all the stops to make it enticing for players to come to Michigan. He just has to continue doing what he's doing, and on top of that, somehow or another, we just have to get a better product on the field, better results, make players be excited to come to Michigan. I think we're on the right track as far as the recruiting goes. We just have to keep it up and maintain getting top 10 recruiting classes every single year. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, definitely feel free to leave a like on the video. It definitely helps my channel. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about our recruiting and our talent assessment. Do you think it's good, bad? Is it just in the middle? Is it okay? Let me know how you feel. And if you like my content, definitely subscribe to the channel. I try to post. I definitely post 2 times a week for the predictions of the game that we have, and also for the analysis after the game. But I also try to, if I'm not too tired, make a video such as this one where it's a general topic about Michigan football. So anyways, thank you for watching the video, and as always, go Blue.